what's going on, guys? It is FoxyDude98 here, and finally F1 2017 is out and we can get started with our career mode. If you guys are hyped for today's video, drop it a like, subscribe if you're new around here as well, and let's get straight into it. So first of all, as you can see, we're going to be picking our helmet. Now, for some reason, it tracked my previous game data from last year, so I didn't actually need to change any of my settings, and my details were registered straight away for this career mode. And as you can see, we're going into the team selection. I've said this many times before, way back in F1 2016, like a couple of months ago. I'm going to be starting my career mode with Force India. That is why I'm going to be part of the Pink Panthers, and I'm going to try and lead them to glory. And as you can see here, I was kind of debating which teammate to go for. I decided to go with Esteban Ocon. I decided to go for a full rookie lineup here. And as you can see, we're going through all of the settings. We're going to be doing 50% races, full qualifying, and we're going to be starting things off on 103 Ultimate, just to give it a go. And if I get screwed, then I get screwed. But anyway, guys, let's get into the cutscene.
Yes, and I respect that. But my client has a championship to contest. So if you want our participation, I'm afraid the concessions are mandatory. Yes, that's fine. Get back to me when you can. Goodbye. No one ever just signs the contract. Anyway, thanks for coming by on such short notice. I just needed to cover a couple of quick things with you before you race. Firstly, as requested, there's a copy of your contract. It's a rolling deal. However, the team reserves right of termination if you fail to meet performance standards. You're second driver for now, but work hard, hit your targets, and I'll be able to sweeten the deal. I'm also looking to get you into some invitational events throughout the season. The experience and exposure from these will be great for your image. Plus, you'll get to drive some nice historic cars. Now then, go get ready for the next session, and good luck.
Right, okay, so there we go, guys. That is the cutscene done and dusted. And as you can see, here is our new contract. Dear Tom, welcome to the Sahara Force India Formula 1 team. We're delighted to have you on board and looking forward to working closely with you for the upcoming seasons. You'll start as the number 2 driver alongside Esteban Ocon, and just do well, and we can go forwards. But here is the first look then at the laptop introduction. We kind of know a basis of the laptop introduction already. We've got the overview, and then we've got some of the cool stuff there in the way. So here is the vehicle management section. I do go into this a lot more further in detail after I do the practice and the practice sessions. But here is the gearbox settings. There's the weekend tire allocation, and there are our power units. We have got 4 power units. Each of the elements there, we have got those throughout the session. Moving on then into the practice session then. Now, I skipped the cutscenes for practice and qualifying at the start when they introduced everything. Kind of because I kind of just got used to doing that when I forgot that I kind of need to show up for a new game. So, yeah. Track acclimatization test, we did very, very well. Onto the tire wear test. Tire wear test was a little bit difficult. As you can see, look at the delta in the top right-hand corner. It was pretty... Oh, no, it wasn't this one, sorry. It was the fuel efficiency one, or maybe race strategy. One of the two. Anyway, we complete the low tyre wear test, which was all good in that sense. Moving on then into the fuel saving. A brand new tyre program where... a brand new program where you've got to mix lifting and coasting with your fuel and match the delta time. And unfortunately, as you can see from the top right, I was good on the fuel, but I wasn't quick enough on my lap time. And unfortunately, that did cost me. It was the qualifying run. That's the one. Qualifying run. One of the ultra softs. Have a look at the top right where the delta is. It's going to go red. It's now red, and somehow we completed the objective. I don't know how, but we did. So we kind of struggled a little bit in practice, just getting used to the car a little bit and trying to suss out what we've got. Moving on then into the race strategy. Now, the race strategy is actually a very easy program. It's a mixture of tyre wear and also fuel, trying to get a good lap in, and we reach the optimal pace. You only need to do 3 green laps. You can only get a green or a red, and that's about it. And there we are in the practice session, 15th place, but it's not too bad. And now we're going to get introduced to Chris in, like, 2 seconds.
Ah, you got my message. Perfect. Welcome to home away from home. We get more real-time data from the factory now than ever before, and it all comes through here. So I have to spend more time checking over the reports and less time hunting you down in the hospitality suite. To that end, Sorry, just a sec. Yeah, Chris, is this important? I'm in the middle of something. Oh, okay. Right. Well, that makes no sense. Have Sarah reset the simulation and run it again. Okay. Sorry about that. As I was saying, we've set up a desk for you at the front here. You can get onto the network from your laptop, so make sure to check the R&D screen regularly. And let us know how you want to use the data that we've collected over the weekend and through the practice programs. Also, bear in mind that the news from the factory won't always be good. Sometimes tests fail, like you've seen just now. And when that happens, we have to divert additional resources to fix it. C'est la vie, I'm afraid.
Alright then, so we are now introduced into our resource points, and a very interesting message there from Chris, introducing us to the resource points section. As you can see, the team have actually allocated me 2,500 resource points on top of the practice programs that we completed. But very interesting quote there from Chris, that not all of our resource points will actually work. There are going to be occasions throughout the season where we're going to pick an upgrade, and it's not going to work, and it is going to fail. That's an amazing feature. Anyway then, so we're going to have a look at the R&D tree. You can see there Mercedes and Ferrari, or Mercedes just in front of Ferrari. Now, it took a little bit of a while for me to actually find the R&D tree, so here's a little bit of a bloopers, basically, when I will show you how bad I was. This is the main screen here. All I had to do was click the A button and view the R&D tree, and here is your university degree and get studying, basically. But anyway, it's not over that complicated-ish. But anyway, we're going to be having a look then. So, as you can see, the Powertrain were basically the fastest car on the grid, straight line speed-wise. Chassis-wise, not that bad in the midfield. Durability, we're going to be looking at that definitely. And we go straight in there with an increased general wear on just everything. Aerodynamics were the third worst team on the grid for aerodynamics. And as soon as I saw that, I knew straight away I've got to get working on the aerodynamics. So we go straight on and we fit a new front wing main plate, which will be arriving for the Bahrain Grand Prix. So not for the Chinese Grand Prix, but for the Bahrain Grand Prix. And as you can see then, we've got the general wear upgrade done, which is very nice. You can see that it's actually it will highlight when the upgrade is fully fitted on the car, and then it will show you the branches that you can go out to do other upgrades. And I was considering maybe doing 1 or 2 upgrades. You can see you can actually do some instant upgrades to the car, which do very, very small little things to your car to help out. But I decided against it, and I decided I'm going to keep the 1,200 resource points that I've got, and basically just get away from those. But we are going to get a new rival now from Emma here, and I was going to potentially show this cutscene in full without me talking, but at the end of the day, she says the same thing as she does last year, so it kind of doesn't really make that much of a difference. And we're going to be introduced, of course, to the driver rivalry, and as per last year, our driver rival is Esteban Ocon for this season, for the first stage of the rivalry. So beating our teammate is crucial if we're going to also try and push for the #1 driver spot at Force India. And as you can see, the team want me to qualify 9th or higher and beat Ocon. So that's a very, very tough target there. But we're going to get straight into the qualifying session then here. Onto a set of ultra soft tyres. We are doing a full qualifying session. So it is Q1, Q2 and Q3 as per usual. We're going to be coming across the line now, and let's see how far off we are compared to Vettel's pace. 1.5 seconds shy of Sebastian Vettel's lap time there, which honestly is not that bad, actually, come to think of it there, as we actually do qualify in P14. I opted not to go out for a second run in Q1, and luckily it paid off, but just quite close, actually. Only 3/10 separating me and Palmer from that drop zone, which was a little bit shaky, but we made it through, so the gamble was worth it. Moving on then into Q2 here, and I believe this is my first lap. Yes, this is my first lap. A little bit late there on the DRS here, as we come powering towards the start-finish line now, there with a 1:24.4, which I thought was a decent lap-ish. And then I had a look here, and you can see there, skip through. We've got about 3 minutes to go into qualifying now. And I have a look here, I'm P7, but look who's not qualified yet. Ricardo, Ricardo, Raikkonen, and Verstappen have all not set a qualifying lap. And that got me quite nervous, I'm not going to lie, so I decided to go on the safe side. I decided to strap on a brand new set of ultra soft tyres and go out for a second run in Q2 just to try and confirm my place in Q3 and make sure that I actually get through, because there might be a case that I wouldn't get it through. So as you can see here, going from a rolling start. And I just want to quickly say about my assists as well. People may be asking about them, and you can see I'm actually P11 here, so it was a great idea to go out in Q2 for a second run here. But can we actually make it into Q3? We've got DRS towards the start-finish line, and you may have just seen in the top left-hand corner of the screen, we qualified in P8, which is going to be our first Q3 appearance of the season, which I'm really happy about, getting a Q3 spot. And as you can see, my teammate Ocon not as fortunate, so it does mean for the first time this season, we out-qualify Esteban Ocon, and we're going to complete the objective of beating our teammates. It's Q3 then that we actually went out very, very early in the session, because it was actually raining, which was, well, it wasn't, you can see on the, actually it is, it's raining on the chassis now, so the best time to get out there was indeed now. Bottas set to 22.9, followed quickly by Hamilton on 22.6. We're going to come across the line though and set 24 flat, which is 1.3 seconds off the pace. But the rain got that bad that not really many people improved after that. So we actually qualified an impressive P7, and we out-qualified Kimi Raikkonen, which I was absolutely buzzing about, and a really strong qualifying session. And just for those that are wondering about my assists, by the way, I am running with no traction control this year, so I've gone from full traction control to no traction control. I've still got the corner line on because I'm a bit rusty with braking at the moment. I want to turn that off at some point later in the season. And then I am running with ABS on in terms of braking, because again, braking is a little bit difficult for me at the moment, so I've left it at that. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. And without further ado, there is the team objectives. Let's get into the race.
Throughout this season, by a great racing driver, former F1 competitor, former world champion, and dare I say it, all-round top bloke as well. It's the one and only Anthony Davidson. And tell me, here we are, first Grand Prix of the season, and it's gone and rained on us. I imagine that that's not especially helpful for the teams, who are still trying to figure out, of course, what kind of performance they're all capable of. Well then, after an exciting qualifying session yesterday, let's take a look at how the cars line up. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Ricciardo, Felipe Massa and Verstappen, a Force India, Raikkonen, Grosjean and Lance Stroll, Magnussen, Ocon, Nico Hülkenberg and Sainz, Kvyat, Palmer, Fernando Alonso and Pascal Wehrlein. Van Dorn and Marcus Ericsson rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Right, well, talk about spicing up the start of the season. The first race of my career mode and my first race of F1 2017 is going to be in intermediate conditions from start to finish. Well, this is going to be entertaining because I'm trying to learn no traction control and I'm trying to learn no braking assists at the moment, because braking's a little bit meh for me at the moment. And yeah, just to top that all off, why not have some intermediate conditions? Sure, because that's going to make things a lot more comforting for myself. But anyway, we're going to get straight into this. Hopefully the rain may play into our favour. It may not. It may be a complete nightmare, but it might make us get a little bit closer to the front runners. Who knows? But anyway, we're going on to the formation lap then here. It's bog standard formation lap, as you have seen many times before. And there, look, already getting a snap of oversteer. And we're on the formation lap, so that kind of nerved me a little bit. But eventually we will settle down here, but we're getting on the grids here, ready for this Australian Grand Prix to get underway, and it is lights out. There we go here for the Australian Grand Prix. It's been a decent start from us, actually. Shifting a little bit early, short shifting through second and third, trying to get the best traction towards turn one, braking nice and late in towards turn one. We've actually got a little bit, I've broken ourselves a little bit, but it's actually a decent line for us. We've gone round Verstappen, and now we're attacking Felipe Massa, and we are actually going to get this job done on Felipe here. We're going to keep accelerating here, keeping the power down, and we get past Felipe Massa, but unfortunately I've actually outbroken myself here. I'm going to have to squeeze through Ricciardo, squeeze through Vettel. I did not intend on going for those moves, but I completely outbroke myself, trying to basically stay in front of Felipe Massa. But luckily, somehow, we've actually kept the move on Sebastian Vettel, so I feel a little bit guilty about that. Did kind of go off track a little bit. I promise you guys, I did not attempt to go for the maneuvers on Ricciardo and Vettel. I tried to get the move stuck on Felipe Massa because we were still side by side, but I broke way too late. I just had to basically torpedo through. I had to Kvyat myself. But luckily, I'm more talented than Kvyat in this game, and I was able to keep my composure. Now, as you can see here, we're actually crawling all over the back of Ricciardo, so we're actually off to a very absolutely flying start here. Now we just need to keep our composure and start attacking Daniel and see if we can try and find a way past, because if we can't find a way past, my brain says that he's just going to absolutely fly off. So into the turn 12 chicane here for the first time here. We can see we have a little bit of a messy entrance there. And then again, a messy exit here with Vettel now all over the back of us here. So how long can we keep Vettel behind us in this Grand Prix? Because we've got a decent car in a straight line. But I don't really know if that's going to help us here because it's in wet conditions. But the only sort of saving grace that I've got is that DRS is going to be disabled for the whole Grand Prix. So those faster cars behind us will have to get behind us on true straight line speed and slipstream. And they don't have the extra boost of DRS. And of course, in this year's game, the slipstream has been toned down massively and it's perfect. You don't just cruise up to the back of someone like here right now, onto the back of Ricciardo. On 2016, I would just absolutely fly past him. On this game here, look how slow the slipstream is. It's not going to be as effective as it was in the previous years. And as you can see, I had a look on Ricciardo, but it just wasn't to any prevail. I accidentally clicked the my left bumper button and pulled up the menu, but I didn't really need the menu in the first place here. Completing the full lap here, having a look on Ricciardo, but I decided to brake a lot earlier into this corner after I completely outbroke myself in the first attempt here. Little snap of oversteer there as we're trying to get the car into the rhythm. Onto lap 4 of the Grand Prix now, and we set the personal best lap of our race so far on a 1:41 flat, which I thought was a decent lap time here. But coming through with turn 122, a big slide there, a really big slide. Had to go nearly opposite lock there to correct the car there, and that was a very big slide. And again, another warning that, you know, I'm starting to settle into this race, but these cars, if they do snap, you've really got to be careful of them. Onto lap 5 of the Grand Prix now. Vettel here has got a great exit out of the turn 12 chicane here. He might actually go for it here. Does he fancy go into the inside here? No, Vettel actually sticks behind us and has to wait another lap. And Vettel's starting to get a little bit frustrated behind me. The two Mercedes cars, they've gone. They've just decided to say bye-bye and leave the world for dust here. But for myself, not so much. On to lap 10 of the Grand Prix, you can have a look there at the engine elements and how we're doing so far. So you can see everything's on around about 10-15% at the moment, which isn't actually that bad. I thought it'd be a little bit worse than that. I didn't think my engine components would be that good. But look at that there, a little bit of snap of oversteer, and that's actually allowed Vettel to come flying through here. So Sebastian Vettel goes up into 4th place there. So a very poor decision for myself here. But I'm actually going to see how the AIs go. Let's try one of these dive bombing moves. They do actually move out the way, but Vettel there still fighting it. I may have taken a little bit too much corner. I'm not gonna lie, it was a little bit rash on my behalf, but I kind of wanted to see, like, you know, the AIs, they do close the door on you, and I wanted to see, and in that case, Vettel may have given me the space, but that's because I came in like an absolute torpedo again. But they do definitely make things a lot harder, and that was the test I wanted to find out here. Through the turn 12 chicane once again for the next time here. We've got a poor run on the exit though. We've gone very, very wide here. Vettel's got a great run this time, and we're going to have to try and defend once again from Sebastian. He's going to push to the inside line this time. Down the inside here, fighting a Ferrari in our first race. I don't think I'd be doing this, but Vettel side by side. Great action here. We're holding it around the outside. This time I lift off and let Vettel take the position. Get a better run here. Vettel's going to cover me off. I'm going to switch back in towards the second to last corner here. Braking very late here. Outbraking myself, but I managed to make it stick on the track this time. And there we are, sliding around the final corner and still holding our own against Sebastian Vettel. So we may be in an inferior Force India versus a superior Ferrari, but I'm not going to give up just yet. If Vettel wants to try and overtake me, he's going to have to do it legit, and he's going to have to work for it. I'm going to defend this position. On to lap 11 of the Grand Prix, and as you can see, we've actually moved up into P2. Both the Mercedes, oh, a big slide down the exit of the turn 12 chicane there, as I like to call it here. And Vettel is going to try it once again on the outside this time. He makes a slight bit of contact with our car. I'm going to give him some space here, as Vettel's still there, but this time he does have to back out of it, as there's just not enough room to go across. Then again, another slide there, as I'm just trying to defend against Vettel, and it's putting me on edge a little bit. Not gonna lie, it's putting a lot of pressure on me, but I am happy to have the pressure here. But as you can see, Bottas and Hamilton have actually made early stops, yeah, they've dropped down the order a little bit, but they've gone early in another slide. So I'm pushing really hard in this race, and as you can see, Vettel this time is going to go for yet another maneuver on us down the inside here. We're going to defend from Vettel. I'm going to give him the room, because of course the AIs do like the room here. A little bit of snap of oversteer, but again, Vettel decides it's best to just back out of it in that situation, so I've got better traction on there. And again, another slide there, as I'm just trying to keep this car in one piece here. On to lap 14 of the Grand Prix now, and you're probably thinking to yourselves, hang on a minute, so I click on more updates here. I'm going to pause this game, and you're probably thinking, why am I pausing this game? I can't hear Jeff. I don't know where he is. I don't know where my engineer is. Everything's on full volume, so I got to advanced volume settings. Radio output device. I'm going to change it.
This pace is strong, but be aware your tyres need to go the distance.
Hey, I've got Jeff back. So for the first half of this entire Grand Prix, I I didn't have Jeff with me. And as you can see, he's now going to continue to remind me that I've got to come into the pit. So for 14 laps, I have actually had no radio communications whatsoever from Jeff for any updates or for anything, or for anyone having a problem, or for trying to save fuel, or look after the tyres. I've had absolutely nothing. So for the first half of the race, I've had no radio, which was brilliant. So, yeah, not only have I been fending hard from Vettel and from everybody else, but as you can see then, we're coming into the pits for our very first pit stop of this Australian Grand Prix. It's a one-stop in this race. We're just going to be switching out the inters. You can see, look at the wear on those intermediate tyres. They look amazing. But despite the fact that the wear on the inters looked amazing in the pits, what's not amazing is Vettel's jumped us in the pits, unfortunately. The Force India mechanics just a little bit too slow there to react to the Ferrari team. They were very, very close, so coming into the pits, and we're coming out of the pits, can we actually jump in front of Felipe Massa? If we get stuck behind him, that's going to really ruin our race, and just in front of Felipe Massa, so very, very good there, and again, more sliding from the rear of my car. I love to slide the car. I might as well be called the Pro Drifter. On to lap 15 of the Grand Prix of this race now. The rest of the field behind me are pitting. As you can see, we're going to stay in front of Raikkonen, but Max Verstappen has actually made the overcut work, so surprisingly, I didn't think this would work. But the overcuts work for Verstappen here. We're now right on the back of him here. We're going to chuck this engine into rich revs here. Going to get a good slipstream. Going to get good speed here. Verstappen is on cold intermediates. Mine have had a lap to use, so they are nice and toasty. And that is going to cost Verstappen there as we get the move done on Max. And a little bit of a fright there. So Verstappen there making the move stick on me in terms of the overcut. But we managed to fight back and get the position here. On to lap 19 of the Grand Prix now, and we're moving further on into the Grand Prix. Have a look in the top left. Lewis Hamilton has pitted for a second time in this Grand Prix, and so the Mercedes is, weirdly, they're doing a two-stop in this race. I didn't think they would, but they are. And look at this now. We're getting very, very close to the back of Lewis Hamilton here. Can we actually attack Lewis Hamilton? A little bit of an oversteer snap on the exit of the corner. I'm going to chuck this car into rich mixture. And once again, I'm going to test and see how much room the AIs give. No, they turn in. They do actually give a little bit of a fight here. Hamilton's still on the outside line here, but I managed to creep my nose in just enough there. Round the outside, snap of oversteer, so we hit the curb. We've overtaken a Mercedes now in this career mode. Yes, he's made a second pit stop, but still, we've overtaken a Merc in this career mode, and we did it fair and square. And on to lap 22 of the Grand Prix now. Bottas is pitted, so for this phase of the race, we're in the podium positions. I didn't expect this at all. Marcus Ericsson retires from this Grand Prix here, so we get a nice slide there, and the virtual safety car has been deployed for the first time in my career mode. And as you can see, the VSC is now ending. And just a quick note, guys, last time when you did the VSC, you could actually basically go quicker than the delta time. Have a look at the engine components whilst I'm talking, and basically you could basically go like a second quicker than the VSC, and then when the lights go green again, you would be able to basically hold off. This time, not so much. If you go over the delta when the VSC ends, it's a drive-through penalty, slam dunk, but we get a snap of oversteer here on lap 27, and that puts us onto the grass here. Lewis Hamilton now looking very, very close, and we're going to defend to the middle of the track here. Hamilton actually smacks me there. You might have just caught that a little bit of debris actually flew off the car. A bit of Hamilton's front wing actually came off in that circumstances, so I ran wide, lost the rear of the car, a bit of lack of concentration from myself. Hamilton came for the attack. I went to the middle of the circuit to defend my position, and Lewis Hamilton basically smacked the rear of my car, lost a bit of his front wing, and that kind of actually gave me a little bit of a boost to hold off as Daniel Ricciardo on his home Grand Prix and the opener of my F1 2017 career mode comes through to win his home Grand Prix here in Australia. But for myself, it's a fantastic P3 and a brilliant podium position there for myself. I have absolutely no idea how that's happened, but somehow we have managed to clinch on for a podium finish in my first race on F1 2017, and I am absolutely over the moon with that, and that was a great race for myself, and really, really happy to get that podium. I was a little bit lucky, of course, with, who was it? I was a little bit lucky, in fairness, with the rain. I felt the rain gave me a massive boost. Vettel was behind me, and right behind me for 14 laps. If the DRS was enabled, I probably would have been swamped. I probably would never have finished on the podium. I genuinely believe that in the dry, I would have been slaughtered. It's the easiest. I would have been absolutely slaughtered. I feel like in the dry, no chance. In the wet, I have better traction, and with my straight line speeds and the lack of slipstream power, I was able to keep in front. And there I am on the podium for the first time in my pink Force India suit. And yeah, that's my main aim for this career mode of getting a podium in the first season has been completed in one race. So yeah, Lewis Hamilton, he probably would have overtaken me. You know, I basically just put it down to the fact that it was in the intermediate conditions, and if it wasn't, I mean, you know, I was 1.3 seconds slower in qualifying than everybody else, so That's what I put it down to. But there you can see was the standings. And I completely forgot again. Should have showed the standings. So for next episode, what I'll do is I'll go for the drivers and constructor standings in full to start the episode off. Because I didn't really show them properly in this instance. Because again, I basically forgot. It was 2 o'clock in the morning when I recorded this, okay? Leave me alone. Don't bully me. It was late. I wanted to play the game. I wanted to play the game on midnight release. So as soon as I got to that point, it was 2 o'clock in the morning. But now we're going to introduce ourselves to Jonathan, who's part of the classic cars.
Is this the one?
Indeed it is. And this is Jonathan. He's going to let you drive some of his cars.
Well, not quite my cars, per se. It's a mere detail. You know, I'd really rather be down there racing them myself, to be honest. I'm actually quite handy behind the wheel, but it's the downforce, those lateral Gs, you know? The old neck can't really handle it. So I need a pro. That's where you come in. We run in a bunch of events throughout the year. Time trials, races, all sorts. And I have it on good authority that you have the ability and temperament to do well in these. Make our business look good, and most importantly, bring the cars back in one piece. So consider this a formal invitation. I'll see you at the track.
Now, I'd just like to step into my office. I'd like to go over...
Not gonna lie, I don't know what Emma means by would you like to step into my office, but we'll just leave them to do their own thing. But we have now got our very first invitational. We're going to do the Overtake challenge around Silverstone, or we could do the Pursuit challenge around Japan. I decided, because I've seen a lot of people do the other one, I've gone with this one. So I've gone with the Overtake challenge here in Silverstone in the Williams Renault from 1996, which Damon Hill won his one and only World Championship in. And the purpose of the Overtake challenge is basically we've got 3 minutes and 50 seconds to do laps around the Silverstone short circuit. We've then got to make sure we get 12 overtakes in that period. And basically, once we've got all those overtakes, that is it completed. If we don't do that, then we fail the challenge here. But first impressions of this Williams, I was absolutely stunned by how amazing this car was. It was so good on traction, it was really good in the corners, on the grip levels and everything like that. And I was just so happy with it. And as you can see, making more overtakes into Stowe Corner now for the very first time here. And we're going to be going around a couple of times, so I'm going to commentate for the rest of this lap until we cross the line. And I'm just going to let you guys just listen to the car and just enjoy the classic cars. And we're trying to overtake the McLaren NP4-4s from 1988. And I do have the special edition of this game, so I can drive those. So I will do gameplays on classic cars as well in the near future. But guys, I'm just going to let you watch the last 2 minutes and 50 seconds of the classic cars with no, not me commentating at all. And just let you guys just enjoy it really. So I'll be back with you when this invitational finishes. And there we go, guys. That is the Invitational completed. We managed to get the 12 overtakes just pretty close, but we just managed to do it there. But guys, if you have enjoyed today's episode, drop it a like, subscribe if you're new around here as well. And I'll see you guys for the next episode of my career mode later on today. So thanks for watching. Take care all. Peace.